Hello and welcome to the second episode of Kaya Sport TV. Well, today it's all about the national teams from Bafana Bafana to the Springboks. But let's start out with Bafana Bafana. They're involved in the COSAFA Cup. It kicks off on the 17th of May. But remember that South Africa have been given a bye into the quarterfinals where they take on Botswana on the 24th of May. Ephraim Shakes Mashaba has assembled a team of, let's say, lesser known players, but Shakes believes that the team is still capable of winning the tournament. Listen to this. With the football season drawing to a close, the focus shifts to the national team as Bafana Bafana begin their assault on the COSAFA Cup. Because the tournament falls outside the FIFA international dates, COSAFA has often presented somewhat of a headache for Bafana Bafana coaches in the past because they can't necessarily pick their strongest side for fear that the big clubs may refuse to release some of the top players. Add to that the fact that as a small tournament, the public aren't really interested until Bafana Bafana get knocked out, and you see the challenges that face a Bafana coach in assembling a team for the COSAFA Cup. Things are no different for current coach Ephraim Shakes Mashaba, who despite these challenges believes that he has assembled a team capable of winning the trophy.
You know, I want to remind people when we took over as the technical staff of Bafana Bafana, we said each and every player, as long as you've got a green ID, barcoded, you got a chance to play in here. And then, of course, to isolate the other divisions, I mean, it's football in all. Let's bring them in and see what's happening. We still have the CHAN coming as well, and we'll be looking at what is going to happen.
But perhaps surprisingly, South Africa have only been crowned champions 4 times since the annual tournament's inception in 1997. This year, though, the regional cup competition takes on added significance as it takes place in South Africa against the backdrop of the xenophobic violence that swept across the country just over a month ago. Players from SADC states, including Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Malawi and Zambia, will descend upon Rustenburg in the northwest for 2 weeks of football starting on the 17th of May. Because it is these very countries that bore the brunt of the xenophobic attacks, the 2015 COSAFA Cup is an even more important tournament for the promotion of regional unity and a common Southern African identity. Remember that even in the PSL, many of the foreign players hail from nations such as Zimbabwe, Zambia and Botswana, a fact that is not lost on Bafana Bafana striker Mweketsi Sekola. This season's top goal scorer in the ABSA Premiership says this COSAFA Cup is an opportunity to spread the spirit of transcontinental brotherhood that exists at club level where players of different nationalities play for the same team.
I will say it was great, like back there where we were, like we treat each other like brothers, this thing of Zanativa, it's been really hitting us hard because, those are our brothers, no matter how they come from, but then we are all the same, bruh.
Let's hope for a peaceful COSAFA Cup and for Bafana Bafana to win the tournament for the first time since 2008. Well, good luck to Bafana Bafana and let's hope for the best. Good luck also to some of those players, including Cole Alexandra of Polokwane City, who's been nominated for the ABSA Premiership Player of the Season, up against Tifuma Shamaite and Eric Mato of Kaizer Chiefs. Also, congratulations to Mweketsi Sekola, of course, top goal scorer in this season's ABSA Premiership, banging in the goals there for Yalla Koto. Now then, it's a big year for the Springboks this year with the World Cup coming up in England later this year. Our man Sandile van Heerden went out to the first Bok training camp of the year and he says the guys are ready.
An impressive squad turned up for the first Springbok training camp of the year. 44 locally based players from the Bulls, Cheetahs, Lions and Stormers assembled at St. Peter's College as they chased their dream of making the Rugby World Cup squad later this year. Apart from the injured Pat Lambie, Sharks players were not represented as they are in the middle of their Super Rugby tour down under. The men from Durban will attend the second camp in 4 weeks' time. Another notable absentee was Captain Jean de Villiers, who is undergoing rehabilitation following his knee injury in November. Coach Heineke Meyer says there's a good chance de Villiers will make the World Cup squad in England.
I'm very happy with his progress. He's involved with the camp as well, but I just felt it's better. You don't want to lose a week. A week in his perspective is a long time. So he's doing great. He's really training hard, and there's a good chance to be at the World Cup.
But Meyer and his Brains Trust will, however, have to make a decision on who leads the team for the upcoming Rugby Championship. Victor Matfield and Dwayne Vermeulen are the likely candidates.
Victor's been there, he's still involved, and he's getting back to his best after his injury. Dwayne's done brilliantly with the Stormers. He's a guy that's been in our leadership group from the start. A guy like Veride Priya is involved. Adrian Strauss has been a captain. Pierce Spies is slowly but surely getting back to his best. He's been a captain. Bismarck's been a captain. So, I'm not worried. I think there's a lot of leaders out there, and it's all about a team effort.
Meyer has cast his net far and wide, inviting a whole host of new faces, and the coach says no player should feel comfortable about their selection.
The best 31 players need to go to the World Cup, so if you look at the past, there's always been guys that forced their way in. So obviously look at the experienced guys that's been there and that put up their bodies on the line for 3 years. But it just shows that form's definitely also in contention, and a lot of guys has played well.
16 players of colour were also invited to the first camp. The Springboks will assemble again in Cape Town in the first week of June. Sandile van Heerden, KFM Sport.
And that's it for today's episode of Kaya Sport TV. Join us next week where we'll be talking about Kaizer Chiefs, the ABSA Premiership champions of 2014-2015, breaking so many records. They join us in studio, George Maluleka and of course Jessica Mdaung. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.